Far from supporting India's stance on cross-border terrorism, China today launched a spirited defense of Pakistan and its record on terrorism. This after Prime Minister Narendra Modi branded Pakistan a mothership of terrorism at the BRICS summit just a day back. China, in a statement, said, China and Pakistan consider each other all-weather friends. China says it opposes the linking of terrorism to any specific country, ethnicity, or religion. Everyone knows that India and Pakistan are victims of terrorism. In other words, China is saying that both India and Pakistan are victims of terrorism. China then going on to say that the world should respect Pakistan's efforts and sacrifices in fighting terrorism. And just to remind you, this is what the Prime Minister had said about Pakistan and its links to terror without actually naming that country.
Unfortunately, this country in India's neighborhood embraces and radiates the darkness of terrorism. Terrorism has become his favorite child, and the child in turn has come to define the nature of its parents.
But for more on that and try and understand the implication of what the Chinese are saying, we are now joined by Maya Mirchandani. Maya, so the Chinese statement could have been written in Islamabad. Pakistan is a victim of terror. Don't link terrorism to any specific country. The world should respect Pakistan's efforts. So, a statement pretty much coming out of Islamabad, then it's now becoming very clear that the Chinese are moving away from a position of balance to pretty much taking the Pakistani side.
Right. Well, Vikram, I think we have to just accept that as a statement of fact now from China. They seem to have made very clear which side of the line they're on. Now, even at the BRICS forum, Xi Jinping in his speech at the plenary said that political solutions must be found to regional hotspots. That was a message perhaps in response to Prime Minister Modi's several speeches there and statements there in Goa yesterday, where he talked about, without naming Pakistan directly, but referring to the country in India's neighborhood and the issue of terrorism. China, the statement that's come today has come from Beijing. So you have reporters in Beijing asking the Foreign Office about their position. And I think China has once again reiterated what India is not going to be surprised by, because in fact, even before the bilateral with Xi Jinping, we had Vikas Swarup, the MEA spokesperson, who had come out and spoken and said that India had presented its case on terrorism in fact, even proscribing Masood Azhar to China, and Delhi could only hope that China would understand India's position. This statement from Beijing today clearly indicates that China may have understood, but it isn't willing to leave its friendship with Pakistan aside. And I think that's a reality India is going to have to contend with, Vikram.
Maya, BRICS wasn't ever supposed to be about, local issues or terrorism or India or Pakistan or any of that. That's not really been the agenda of BRICS. But having said that, the atmospherics of this visit by Xi as compared to the last time when they were in Gujarat and drinking tea, and there were the atmospherics, the body language, the sort of warmth very clearly missing. So relations with China do seem to have deteriorated a bit.
Right, and Vikram, I think that that's a two-pronged question really, because when it comes to BRICS, the agenda and the reason, the rationale behind India being a founding member of this forum was to ensure developing economies, emerging markets had a platform and could come together, unite in their approach on development and global economic issues, and become a major powerhouse for the rest of the world, the developed world, really to reckon with. Other leaders, Brazil and South Africa in particular, don't have the same kind of problems of terrorism that India or even Russia does, for that matter. And the focus of BRICS, in fact, if you look at the Goa declaration, the Prime Minister in his speeches may have been extremely strident and forthcoming and forceful on Pakistan, but the declaration itself is one that really brings together various other development concerns as well. That remains the primary agenda of BRICS. So it is a bit interesting that in several speeches through the day, India chose to stick its focus really on the issue of terror, whereas it's been a founding member of a forum that's looked at development and economics from the very inception, Vikram.